Our carol for this week of Advent devotions is In the Bleak Midwinter. Now, this was a carol that was written by Christina Rossetti, who wrote the words, and the music was by the English composer Gustav Holst. Now, what's interesting about both these two is how they were actually the children of foreigners. Christina Rossetti was born December 5th, 1830, and passed on December 29th, 1894. And she was the second daughter and youngest child of Gabriele Rossetti, who was a poet and political exile from Sicily. And her mother was Frances Polidori. She was born in a very artistic family, with her eldest brother, Dante Gabriele Rossetti, being an artist and poet. Her other brother, William Michael Rossetti, was a writer, and her older sister, Maria Rossetti, was also a writer. The family was part of what was called the Anglo-Catholic movement of the 19th century, which emphasized the Roman Catholic roots of the Church of England. And this led to Christina's sister Maria even joining an Anglican women's religious order. Christina's religious upbringing is evident in her words, not only in this carol that we'll go through this week, but also in another carol that she wrote the words to, Love Came Down at Christmas. Gustav Holst was born in September 1874 and passed on May 25th, 1934. And he was the eldest child of Adolf von Holst and Clara Cox. The Holsts were a musical family, and they had been for generations. Adolf was a professional musician. Gustav's great-grandfather, Matthias Holst, was a Baltic German from Riga, Latvia, and he served as the composer and harp teacher in the Imperial Russian court in St. Petersburg, Russia. Gustav studied at the Royal College of Music and went on to become a prolific composer and also one of my favorite composers. He's best remembered for his masterpiece, The Planets, but he wrote much, much more. He was heavily influenced by the English folk music revival of the early 20th century. Now, in college, I played many of his pieces. And there are some that are in our hymnal, beyond 221 being In the Bleak Midwinter. 248, On This Day Earth Shall Ring, is also written by Holst. And this uses the tune from The Planet, specifically Jupiter. Also, if you spend enough time watching some of the English royal events or patriotic events, inevitably you will hear the hymn, I Vow to Thee My Country, which was also written by Holst. This week, we will look at the words of this carol, however, but also never forget to enjoy the music.